Welcome everyone to Neverwinter on PC. My name is Rainer and today we're going to take another look at the profession changes. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you would like to see more informational videos about Neverwinter, hit the subscribe button. So there has been a new patch released on the preview server, and I have been looking around on the preview server seeing what all has been changed, and I've made a list of that. Of course, as always, and we've noticed this a couple of times now, all values that you're going to see, what I'm going to show you, are all subject to change. So they might not be in the final version, but it is what it is at the moment. The topics for today are: first, we're going to look at the Stronghold coffer donations. In the past, we were able to donate Grandmasters and get our guild marks like that, and stuff has been changing there. Then we're going to actually look at the legendary tools. We can actually exchange them now. We're going to look at the asset exchange. There have been some changes there as well. Then we're going to look at the donation crates. They have been added to the profession recipes. Then we're going to look at armor kits, which have also been added to the recipes. And then we're going to look at new gear. So it's actually old gear, but it's all been buffed quite a bit. Something else that has been added in the alchemy recipes is new supplements, Masterwork supplements, which are very, very interesting. And finally, I will end off with a couple of short extra announcements. So let's start with the coffer donations. As I said, normally in this, this category used to be labor, if I'm not mistaken, labor. Now it's called profession supplies, and there has been some questions on, can we still donate our assets after mod 15? Well, yes, you can. They actually stack now, so it's actually easier now to donate them, but they still give the same amount of guild marks, whatever you want. Leadership, so the heroes, the old heroes are in here. So there's still 2,500 guild marks. On top of these assets that from the old situation that we can donate, the new assets are not in here, so the artisans cannot be donated, but we can donate resources, and some of the resources are pretty cheap. So for 80 copper ore you only get 32 guild marks, but if you donate, for example, 1 adamant bloom, you will get 160 guild marks. I'm trying to make some kind of overview on what we can donate and what we cannot. There have been some changes here in this section compared to the last preview build, so some things have been removed from here. Important to mention here is that some stuff from the temporary structures that we could buy there, we could have also donated here in the past, but yeah, that would have gained us more guild marks than it would cost, so they removed that, which is a good thing, I guess. So that's how we now can generate guild marks. You basically use gathering to gather some stuff, and then we can contribute it here. You can also buy some resources on the auction house, for example. Many things can go in here. These Chilton silk thread are 400 guild marks. I don't say it's worth, but some things are worth more than others. We still have to figure out what is the best item to donate in the future. So that's the donation. Let me swap to another toon, and then we go look at the legendary tools. So the legendary tools have been something that's been being mentioned by the devs in the patch notes for a couple of builds actually, but they were never, at least I could never find them, and now they are here at the retainer where you would expect them. So as you can see, you can trade in your legendary tools. One thing to note is that I actually also have a stone, and for some reason that one cannot be traded in. Let us just trade in this crucible. I have a couple of those, so it's okay. My crucible is gone. I have one legendary tool exchange bar. If we then go back to this retainer, buy legendary tools, here you can see all the new legendary tools. As we know, the Forge Hammer of Gaunt is 600 proficiency, 600 focus, and actually, as expected, the legendary tools are all 550, 550. Seeing that the Forge Hammer will be used for all the normal crafting professions, I don't see any use of getting one of the crafting profession tools. Actually, if you want to get any legendary tool here, I guess it would be the legendary pickaxe, because that's very useful for gathering, and gathering cannot be rushed, so you will have to use a tool. Get 3 of these, maybe get a legendary crossbow for the crates, because you can get AD crates with gathering and you use a crossbow there. I don't think it's really necessary, but yeah, the legendary tools have been nerfed into the ground. I would say it like that. They were super great, really expensive, and they are really worthless right now. As it stands right now, of course, things can always change, but I don't see them changing really anytime soon. Let's just buy a legendary pickaxe here, why not? So we have a tool now. So that's the legendary tools. They yeah, worthless. One other thing at the retainer that I wanted to talk about is the asset exchange. In the past, well, not the past video, but the previous video where I showed this exchange, major bills, so these are the assets, the old assets, were all 5,000 of these credits, asset exchange credits each. And the assets have actually all been raised to 20,000. Even better, the leadership assets, which are the same amount of guild marks in the stronghold coffer, by the way, but they are 80,000 credits each. This makes a big difference in how many assets, or how many assets you have to put on each character in order to get your tools. Basically now you only need one minor asset in each of your characters to get your tools. But I will be covering the preparations for all of your back tunes, all your characters in another video, because otherwise this video is going to be way too long. But this one was actually a big surprise, that the heroes are now worth 4 times as much as the other assets. And this is logical, because heroes are a lot more expensive. I just didn't think that the devs would act upon the value of the value difference between assets, but they did. So yeah, this is really cool. Another thing in the asset exchange is that we now also, when we buy new assets, we can also buy artisans here. They cost 200,000 of these asset exchange credits. All the other tools in here have not been changed, so the prices are the same, but this one is 200,000. So if you have a couple left from having all of your heroes traded in, for example, you can get a couple of essence. These things do not work at the moment for some reason. Sadly, I wish they would, because I want to get a list of all of the artisans. They have been changed, which is a bit annoying, but I will get back to that later. So that's the asset exchange updates. Next up are the donation crates. Maybe you already saw them, but these are the new donation crates that we can make. We can make crates of astro diamonds, and we can make crates of transmuted gold. The crates of astral diamonds can be made with adventurers, level 70, all the way at the bottom here. And for this one, you need an oak. You need a crossbow, not per se an oak crossbow, but you do need to have a decent tool in order to do this. You don't need a legendary tool to perform this. If you have a good artisan with a decent tool, this will be fine. So here's where we make the crates of astral diamonds. What do we have in here, by the way? Okay, nothing. The crates of gold are the other one, and those are in alchemy, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, crate of transmuted gold. And you can use the forge hammer here and actually rush them. You create 3 at a time, and each one gives you 5 gold, and they cost 1 gold per 3. Actually, if you have someone with low commission, they will actually be cheaper to make, because you are spending gold to create gold here, which is a little bit odd, but you create 15 gold in value for just a little bit of silver in this case. These are very easy to make, and you can also make +1s of these, which doesn't really affect this value if I'm not mistaken, but that will be odd. So that's the donation crates. There are only 2 at the moment. Something else that we got added is armor kits, and armor kits are actually really interesting. Armor kits are the only thing in here that cost AD for commission, so they don't cost gold, they cost AD. And let me see, do I have... I must have an artisan with a good commission stat. Here? No. But what I wanted to show you is that the commission, as with the gold, is actually affected by the commission percentage of the artisan itself. Let me see, do I have... Yeah, here are also armor kits, so several professions have several armor kits, all at level 70. You can figure out which ones are where by yourself. But if we have an artisan with minus 25% commission, the commission cost in AD is going down. This is actually very important for making armor kits. If you have an artisan with minus 75% commission, you can make armor kits pretty cheaply. A lot cheaper than they were before. Something else about armor kits is that they actually have a normal value, and they have also a +1 version. These armor kits are actually completely the same. They also both give 38 item level. But if you look at the generation jewel, these is 100 generation, and this one is 110 generation. So the +1 actually adds something. Here also is both +38 total item level. I am going to say that this will probably be +35 item level, and these two will be +38, and here the power will be up to probably 220. Probably all people will upgrade their armor kits on their gear, which is fun. Then to the gear. Masterwork gear all has received upgrades. So we have Masterwork 1 gear, Masterwork 2 gear, and Masterwork 3 gear. These are the recipe numbers. It's a little bit confusing, but 1, 2 is Masterwork 1 gear. Masterwork 3 recipes contain Masterwork 2 gear, and Masterwork 4 and 5 recipes contain Masterwork 3 gear. If we take this item, for example, this is Masterwork 1 gear, and this Masterwork 1 gear has been raised to item level 520. Masterwork 2 gear went up to 540, and Masterwork 3 gear went up to 560. For most of this normal regular gear, it's not that important. Do know that old gear is upgraded to the new item level. So if you have gear, you will get the higher value. For example, I have some bronze wood rings here. They were item level 500 500 or 510, not super sure, but now it's level 500. And of course the values have been adapted to go with that. Actually, these bronzewood rings now have an equip hour. This equip hour does not work on pets, so I have it equipped on my pet here, but that actually does not do anything. But they have been upped. The interesting thing also is that even though this was already higher, we have not only a normal bronzewood raid ring, but also +1. Almost everything right now has a +1 version. And of course, the values of this +1 are even higher. So this +1 rings, these +1 rings might become very interesting for the future. Even more interesting, I guess, are the Masterwork 3 weapons. I think this is a Masterwork 2 weapon, but this is just to show you. So Masterwork weapons have also been raised to item level 540. The ones that I have right now is level 520. So this is already in all the values. Even weapon damage is higher than what we have right now. Sunset is 520, Primal, even Exalted, is also 520, and this Masterwork 2 weapon set is level 540. Masterwork 3 is even 560. And when I said that every item has a +1, also weapons have a +1, which raises the item level by 10 more. And also the accompanying weapon damage is raised. Of course, a Masterwork 3 weapons can also be exalted, which says that probably we can get to an item level 560 base plus 10 for the +1, so 570 plus 20 item level for exaltation. So that would mean we get a maximum item level weapon of 590, which gives a much bigger base weapon damage than what we have right now, because weapon damage is completely linked to item level. I don't have the item for that in hand, so I wasn't able to make it for this video, but just so you know, there are going to be a lot stronger weapons next mod. In mod 16 I heard that there are going to be some more weapons, probably item level 600 even, but for mod 15, 590 seems to be the highest item level that we're going to be able to get for weapons. Another thing that has been added in this patch is new Masterwork supplements. And we have a couple here. This is a bit odd for me because there are 6 which are all called the same for Calm, Focus and Haste. Calm means is used in later recipes to add the dab hand skill to your recipe. So if you add something here, you can actually get an additional skill with a certain percentage added to what you already have with your artisan. Let me show you, that's probably easier. So for example, this supplement that we can create, and once again this is the normal one, the +1 version is even better, but this supplement will add to your current artisan and tool 70 focus and the dab hand skill with 30% chance. Now I don't know if this is additive, so if you have an artisan with 25% dab hand, for example, and you add 30, are you going to have 35%, or is it going to be 31.5 as multiplicative? I'm not sure about that one. But if it's additive, this actually means these things are super strong. Especially as you can see here, this one I made is 100 focus, which is really, really strong to get your focus to a decent level to make the +1 gear, which some people will want to get because that's actually going to be best in slot. So the Essence of Calm, as I said, is used to add the dab hand skill. As you can see, here's also Essence of Calm for dab hand. These all have different percentages and focus, so they're used for that. Then the focus is used to add the recycle skill, 70 proficiency and 30 recycle skill. This one is 100 focus and 10% recycle. And now we have the Essence of Haste, which is used to add the Miracle Worker skill. This one is 70 focus and 30% Miracle Worker, and this one is this one actually adds some speed also. So 40 proficiency, 30% speed, and 10% Miracle Worker. In Masterwork 3 there's also some supplements. These are more basic. This is just 70 focus and 70 proficiency. I make 3 at a time. I don't know yet how to make these because I cannot find where I can make these philosophers calm. They are nowhere to be found. There are a lot of these things and still need to find that. Maybe it still has to be added, but these supplements are going to be crucial in Masterwork, I think. Something else that's crucial for Masterwork, I don't know if I already got them here, I think so. But, oh no, I got one left. So, at the retainer, after a couple of quests, you can actually get some free artisans. For each profession slot that you have opened on the live server before, for each profession slot that you have opened before mod 15, you get one asset for free. Actually, the first 2 profession slots that you opened after the first one, of course. So if you have opened 2 and 3, you get 2 common ones. If you opened 4, profession slot 4, you get a rare artisan of your choice. And then 2 more rare, and then 3 epic. So if you have 9 profession slots open, you get 3 epic, 3 rare, and 2 common artisans for the profession of your choice. For each of these artisans, you can of course pick the profession, which is very nice for your backtoons as well. What I'm doing right now on the live server is trying to get 7 and 8 profession slots, the 7 and 8, opened on all of my backtoons to get 2 more epic artisans on each of those toons, which will give me a big head start. In my prep video that I will make someday in the very near future, I will show you how to open profession slots really easily. At least some of them are really easy to open if you just know how. One last thing that I mentioned before is the Vonnenblad, which we could trade in for rough AD. It was 50 Vonnenblad for 1000 rough AD, which was very easy to get and a little bit overpowered. And they went a little bit overboard and they changed it to 300 Vonnenblad, one of these 10,000 supplies, 1 Secrets of Astoria, and 1 runic pieces. So it's 6 times nerf. I guess the other items are relatively easy to get, except for these secrets, I guess. But yeah, this has been nerfed quite a bit. So no more free rough AD, I guess. That's it for today's video. There have been a lot of fixes as well. I've also given a lot of bugs to the devs, and I'm happy to say that many of them have been fixed, like the Masterwork 1 quests, which have been merged for armor smithing. That quest was bugged, so I mentioned that and they fixed that, luckily. There are some other ones that they still need to do, but I can see a lot of progress being made, and hopefully we can get a nice mod 15 launch. If you have any remarks on this video or any suggestions on what to investigate next, feel free to leave a comment below and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.